Hey guys, it's me again. After EVO, the Multiversus meta significantly evolved. With large tournaments becoming increasingly prevalent, we now have a greater understanding of the meta than ever before. That's why I thought it was the right time to create a 2v2 tier list based on my own 2v2 experience and tournament results. Characters at the top tend to possess a solid neutral state and have respectable movement speed or attacks necessary to help their teammates in a pinch. Of course, a higher skill level is also assumed, eliminating the barrier of entry for some of the more nuanced characters. As we examine each character's viability, it's essential to remember that Multiversus is pretty balanced compared to similar fighting games, making the gaps between tiers smaller than you may believe. So with all that being said, here's my take on the current meta. Taz. The Tasmanian Devil remains one of Multiversus' worst options. He is plagued by poor frame data and a lack of range. A good Taz has decent options in a disadvantaged state, but it's not enough to warrant a higher placement than low tier. Garnet. Moving on, Garnet is kind of in a weird spot where she has excellent positives like high damage, kill power, and stage control. Her negatives, however, far outweigh the traits that make her dangerous in certain scenarios. Poor frame data, movement options, a large hurt box, and a lack of disjoints only scratches the surface of Garnet's flaws. Overall, Garnet is just not good enough to perform well in competitive play. Next are the mid-tier characters who have inconsistent performances and results. Characters in this tier can perform adequately in competitive play, but often struggle from lack of representation or common matchups against the top-tier characters. LeBron. LeBron James has recently received buffs and developed a lot as a character. While optimizations may have bolstered his performance in the 1v1 metagame, the same can't be said to the same extent in the much faster-paced 2v2 meta. Still, with good teamwork, LeBron can be an absolute force to be reckoned with, thanks to his high kill power and above-average keep-away options. Raindog. The next character is Raindog. I'm gonna be honest and just say it's hard to rank this character. He's known for his incredible keep-away options and damage output. Still, Raindog remains a flawed zoner with poor mobility, a crippling hurt box, and a lack of solid combo breakers. These traits make Raindog particularly susceptible to rushdown characters, who are prevalent in the current metagame. The part that has me perplexed is the love leash, which is what makes Raindog such a sleeper pick in competitive play. Being able to pull allies toward you is extremely powerful when used correctly, and it will likely take years for players to truly master this powerful ability. Jake. Jake is easily among the most popular characters in 2v2. He's highly notorious for his powerful neutral state and tools during the disadvantaged state, which consists of bullying enemies with large and active hitboxes. Like LeBron, Jake is a character who performs better in 1v1 due to the swifter nature of the 2v2 meta. He mainly struggles against faster characters with disjoints, who can more easily punish his side air spacing in the neutral. That being said, to say that Jake is a strong option in this meta is no stretch, and the stage control he brings to his team alone cannot be exaggerated. Moving up, this is where we start to see some of the game's heavy hitters. Characters in this tier either have a few flaws or an exceedingly powerful aspect of their kit that is offset by an equally significant flaw. High tiers are often the best option in specific matchups, and are all a couple of flaws away from being top-tier characters themselves. Arya. Arya players have had it rough. She was definitely not the most potent option in 2v2. Fast forward to the Season 1 patch and she has become quite the fearsome pick in the current meta. Of course, Arya players still have to put the same amount of work in, and she's still just as light as a feather. But new developments and a couple buffs were enough to make her a fearsome pick in the current meta. After all, Arya has outstanding frame data, mobility, and combos in her kit. Arya is one of the best at what she does, and while she may not be a top-tier character like she is in the 1v1 meta, Arya remains an excellent choice in 2v2. After Arya comes Harley Quinn, whose long jab chains and stage control are perfectly suited for the 2v2 metagame. She has an excellent neutral, kill options, and mobility to excel in almost all situations. Her up special is notorious for stealing early vertical kills thanks to its large hitbox, kill power, and decent startup. Just like Arya, Harley Quinn is of the assassin class, who tend to be lighter than average and share a higher barrier of entry than most of the cast. In the span of this game's history, Harley Quinn has been a consistent threat in 2v2, and it's easy to see why. Next is Shaggy Rogers, the strongest canonical character in Multiversus. He's got fantastic movement speed, high weight, frame data, kill power, burst options, and impressive moves in general. The most toxic part of Shaggy's kit is easily his transformation, which allows him to take ludicrously early stocks. His only downside is a lack of disjointed attacks in his overall kit, which he often relies on to take kills off stage. Shaggy Rogers is the ultimate life form. He may not be the most meta character in the game, but he can certainly fight all the top tier characters. Morty. Morty took everyone by surprise upon release. I notice a lot of people are frustrated with his playstyle, stating that he lacks solid kill options and range. To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand his main kill confirms, such as the blaster into down air, grounded side special into down air, or the blaster into down air. Seriously, just use blaster into down air, and you will no longer have trouble taking stocks. The way his neutral works is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of his moves will go over a typical player's head. True Morty mains understand this stuff. They have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of his gameplay. Of course, Morty is not without his flaws. Namely, many characters have better frame data and spacing tools in the neutral. Regardless, Morty is a lot better than people give him credit for. As a consequence, people who dislike Rick and Morty truly are idiots. I'm smirking right now, just imagining one of those addle-pated simpletons scratching their heads in confusion. What fools! How I pity them. Finn. Moving on, Finn has just about everything you would want in a character. Excellent range, movement options, kill confirms, neutral, and a remarkable recovery. Impressive as Finn is, his moveset is heavily catered to excelling in the 1v1 metagame, as opposed to 2v2 team play. Although Finn does provide excellent support in his own way, mainly through the movement speed buff from his shop. Underestimate Finn at your own peril. He'll slay anything that's evil, and he has a rather twisted moral compass. As for Steven Universe, this character has considerably changed across the history of Multiversus. He had a rough start on release, all while Steven players greatly optimized every aspect of his gameplay. And now that he's been buffed, Steven players have been performing better than ever before. While Steven may be known for creating platforms around the map, he plays a lot more like a combo-heavy bruiser. Steven is a beast at close range, with incredibly disjointed options at his disposal to help him fight distance demons like Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry. Overall, Steven is definitely a character worthy of his high-tier placement. Next is the top tier, featuring characters at the pinnacle of the meta. Characters in this tier tend to have few flaws and numerous overpowered options in all aspects of gameplay. Wonder Woman. An excellent example of this is the newly buffed Wonder Woman. Easily the most honest top tier, what sets her apart from the rest is her consistency, large hitboxes, and excellent neutral state. One aspect people overlook is survivability. Even when a character has numerous exceptional traits across the board, the fact of the matter is that benefits like having a good disadvantage state, weight, and recovery can make or break a character, and a character who can do these things are forces to be reckoned with. It was the Wonder Woman and Bugs Bunny tag team that won EVO. Since then, Wonder Woman has become a popular choice in the current meta. It's really no wonder why Wonder Woman occupies the top tier spot. Batman. Batman is not quite as good as he is in 1v1. He's still an incredibly oppressive force in the 2v2 metagame. He should just be called Batarang Man at this point, given how everyone spams the thing. That isn't to say his other moves aren't great. He has other excellent options, such as his side air, jab, and down tilt, which can be utilized in a bait and punish playstyle to great effect. Batman doesn't really have flaws either, other than his one-dimensional kill option in up special and low weight. No doubt, Batman is an extremely solid pick in the current metagame. Next we have the Iron Giant. He is this game's traditional heavyweight fighter, possessing amazing range and strong attacks. Of course, like every heavyweight, he is highly prone to getting comboed into a pile of scrap metal. This flaw is circumvented by the fact that Iron Giant has an ally at the ready, prepared to take advantage whenever enemies target him, and his allies have plenty of opportunities to execute this strategy. After all, what better way to support your ally than attracting the enemy's attention? He's also a great character to start with, nothing too complicated for new players, and you don't have to overthink in the neutral. Superman. After discussing the Iron Giant, it only makes sense to talk about the Man of Steel. This character is infuriating in 2v2. He has lasers, annoying command grabs, super armor on his strong attacks, and extreme survivability. The command grabs are a huge problem in 2v2, as they are hard to avoid and have a low opportunity cost during advantage. So many characters struggle against Superman, and you just don't need a very active imagination to see why. Finally, we've reached the last character of this section, and it's none other than Tom and Jerry. Most people are familiar with their insanely oppressive moves that turn the duo into an unstoppable wall. And as one of the most complex characters in the game, his performance continues to improve. New optimizations by players like Void will no doubt set the bar for an even higher tier placement. But for now, top tier is where the pair resides. The meta-defining tier may come as a surprise, but there's a good reason why I'm placing Velma and Bugs Bunny in their own separate tier. For starters, the duo sees consistent use in tournaments everywhere, gaining remarkable results worldwide. Velma's success in 2v2 is unique to her role as a support. Like most top tiers, Velma has a learning curve to play. Regardless of her difficulty though, she's kind of a jack of all trades, master of all. Velma is crazy strong up close, crazy strong at a distance, and deals insane damage in general. Not exactly what you'd expect from a support. And on that note, she's got excellent support capability in healing and hastening. Useful as this may be, Velma plays more like a mage in the current meta, and she's easily the best mage in 2v2 even after nerfs. In EVO's top 8, there were a total of 5 different teams with Velma. Jinkies! Now let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Bugs Bunny. This might be seen as a cliché, but there's no denying that Bugs Bunny is, at the very least, one of the best characters in the game. He's got no issues whatsoever besides the fact that he might be the most studied character in this game. Even after the recent nerfs, he's still way too strong to be anywhere near balanced. You can pretty much play Bugs Bunny the way you want to, as he's literally able to excel in most roles. It's rabbit season, except that Bugs Bunny isn't the prey. No, it's more like a rabbit era, and the rabbit's victims shall all be a part of his bloody legacy. I know many of you disagree with the rankings, and that's okay. This is simply my opinion on the current meta, based on my own experiences, pro player experience in the genre, and insight from top Multiversus players. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This is Arihead signing out.